physically everything is okay, but still they don't feel okay. So
Right.
we need to understand the emotional aspect of
Aspect
health
as well.
also, and that plays a very important role.
Being a woman itself as a receiver perspective also, which helps you in your job.
In terms of the compliance or the medication that we give, whether she will take it or not take it depends on.
Different kind of issues like PCOS or thyroid imbalance, even hormonal imbalances is kind of getting prevalent in very young age.
So for them, mostly the report is okay, but they are still suffering with hormonal imbalance. They still have issues. What is more important for them is that they want a person who can listen to their problems.
Yeah. What would be your advice for such kind of women who are into their middle ages, how they can take care of their health?
And before planning pregnancy, what are the tests that you need?
Recently saw in social channels as well about right age of pregnancy.
See, for any pregnant woman, every pregnancy is high risk.
What would be the early warning sign which young women should never ignore?
So now we have seen that the cancer which we used to see only in women above 50, now we see between 30 to 50 years as well. So yes, they should know that.
Hi everyone, my name is Nitin Guru and I am your host at another interesting episode of Medical Value Talks. And today we have very interesting topic in hand and we have very esteemed guest whom I am going to introduce next. But today's episode is about the strength or pillar of strength of my life, my mother, my wife, my sister, and my daughter, whom I derive strength from, and how we take care of these pillars of strength. I'm sure all of you must be wondering the women of your life, how you take care of them, how you help them with their different medical situation. And to talk about in this topic, it's my honor and privilege to welcome Dr. Nupur Gupta, who has 30 years of experience working as gynecologist and clinician, and she is currently working at Fortis Memorial Research Institute at Gurugram. Dr. Nupur, welcome to Medical Value Talks.
Thank you so much, Nitin.
Great. So, Dr. Nupur, you have spent 3 decades, almost 3 decades into this specialty. Would like to understand what was your journey, into the gynecology and different medicines to treat various conditions which women face.
So, Nitin, when I was in school and when I was a child, I already decided that I wanted to take up medicine. And while doing my medical sciences, that is during MBBS, I decided that yes, women health is the specialty that I would like to opt for. There were many reasons behind this. I saw women suffering in silence. I saw women who were not able to talk about their problems. I saw women with menstrual problems, with fertility issues, so many things, and they were not able to talk about their issues to either doctors, to family members, even at their workplace. And so I decided, yes, this is the field for me where I can help them be better individuals and look after themselves.
Great, ma'am. That's so inspiring. And you've worked into various top institutes and top hospital in India. Uh, how was your journey? What you led you to FMRI? As currently you are there,
So yes, everyone has through go through their ups and downs,
right?
and it's a journey, and it's not a destination where we would like to be.
Right.
And over the years, there have been lot of learnings, lot of low times, failures, success, and then when you reach one level, that is the time when you want to help people around,
Right.
when you want to help women with their problems, and we want to treat women as a whole and
Right.
not looking at the reports, okay, this is your problem, this is not the problem.
Hmm.
Many a times the report is normal but she's still suffering. So we want to be good listeners and we want to help them in their journey of health. We want to help them understand their bodies so that they can look for what is the right solution for them.
Right.
We have both the advantages of being a physician, where we can advise medical treatment, as well as the surgical specialty that we enjoy treating them and giving them the right solution.
Right. And being a woman self, right, I think it both as a receiver perspective also.
Yeah, naturally. So there are two aspects of health, and as WHO explains, there are so many other aspects. It is not only physical health that we are looking at. If physically everything is okay, but still they don't feel okay, so
Right.
we need to understand the emotional aspect of
Aspect
health
as well.
also, and that plays a very important role in terms of being well, in terms of feeling good, in terms of the compliance or the medication that we give. Whether she will take it or not take it depends on how I have communicated and how I have explained that what is the problem and what are the solution that we are looking for. It can be both kind of solutions, medical as well as surgical options are available for any kind of treatment. But yes, what is the best for you, that communication still comes through us and not through AI or any other
Right.
information source. Yeah.
Right. And I see that lot of different kind of issues like PCOS or thyroid imbalance, etc., even hormonal imbalances is kind of getting prevalent in very young age, in young girls, teenagers, etc. uh, why do you think this is happening, and is it correct that this is kind of these kind of disease or situations are happening in young population?
See, yeah, hormonal imbalance has been happening over the years. It is
Hmm.
a very common thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Earlier, the diagnosis was delayed or it
Hmm.
was not happening.
Hmm.
Still, there are girls and women who suffer from hormonal problems, but they go undetected because most of the time the report says everything is okay, but they are still suffering.
Right.
So if we are able to understand this hormonal imbalance at a younger
Yeah.
age, we can help them prevent diseases in the long run. But yes, it has been increasing because the human body is the same, everything is same, but the lifestyle has changed, the environment has changed, and there has been so much of exposure of so many other things in the environment which has led to more prevalence of such problems. And other than that, one more factor which is common amongst every one of these is genetic predisposition. So
Okay.
that also adds up to having such problems. But now, especially in metro cities, big cities where women are aware of their health issues, we are still able to diagnose at the right time and offer them the right solution.
So, but you are seeing that trend of having these kind of situation in young age,
Yes,
right?
and it is multifactorial.
Hmm.
So we can talk about so many issues. Number one is that they are moving less, they have sedentary lifestyles, whether it is a child or a teenager or it is a young adult woman or a professional, whosoever. They are moving less, they are sleeping less,
Hmm. Hmm.
they are not able to manage their stress,
Hmm. Hmm.
and stress is not only coming from their workplace or from school environment,
Hmm.
but from home also, from comparison
Hmm.
also,
Hmm.
and they undergo a different level of
Yeah.
emotional turmoil
Right.
which we are not able to understand. In our
Right.
times it was not there,
Right.
but these people have lot of stress, lot of undercurrent which they don't reveal either to parents or to the school or maybe wherever they are working.
Right.
So this also adds up to so many things. Other than that, the environment, our lifestyle has changed. We spend a lot of time on the screen. I think we are also doing the same thing,
Right.
and so screen time has increased.
So
And
that might be causing.
yeah,
Okay.
so there are multiple reasons. What we are eating, what we eat also makes a lot of difference. Pollution in the environment, pollution in what we are eating,
Hmm.
how much knowledge, no matter how much knowledge
Yeah.
we have about what food is right to
Yeah.
eat, but still there is a recent research that says that ultra processed foods is leading to increased incidence of all these things, of cancers, of non communicable diseases, diabetes, hypertension, and it is a research which is done in thousands of men and women worldwide. So now government is also taking lot of measures to
Right.
curb not only these kind of foods but also alcohol and smoking. They have realized, there has now come in US, at least the label has come that alcohol is not good for you. In India we say that smoking is not good for health.
Right.
So there were no such markings earlier
Earlier.
available.
Right.
Now even the food that you eat, there are specific markers that are written. Okay, this is the calorie count, this is the sugar, this is the oil that has been used. So yes, if we are aware, we should read them and eat accordingly.
And ma'am, a lot of women many times complain that they feel unheard, right? Or they they are easily dismissed. Is it also something to related with the environment factor, or it is more about managing expectations?
See, this difference comes because what is happening is, especially women who have hormonal imbalance, there is at the same time they are overweight also, so they feel the body shame also. At the same time, they are being looked down in the society. They are being pinpointed fingers not only by family members but by peers also. So there is peer pressure,
Hmm.
and whatever measures they are taking to manage this, they are not able to do that.
Right.
And when we look at disease in terms of, okay, what is the finding in the report? So for them, mostly the report is okay, but they are still suffering with hormonal imbalance. They still have issues. What is more important for them is that they want a person who can listen to their problems.
Yeah.
So nowadays, no one has time to listen. Everyone is looking at the reports. Okay, the report says this, the report says that. But what she is saying, that no one is interested to listen to that. So if we are able to listen to them patiently, they will follow, and we can help them direct the emotions in the right way.
So yes, for listener is great, but what message these women you want to give them to so they can hold on to it, right? They also become more aware about their situation, right? What would be that message for them?
So yes, first is that you should be aware of what health screening do you need at
Hmm.
what age.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second, what is your family history in terms of medical history, in terms of surgical history, any history of hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, any history of cancer in the family, or something which is running in the family. Other than that, lot of focus should be on what is the right kind of lifestyle
Right.
for you,
Yeah.
how, whether you are able to manage your stress, you are able
Yeah.
to share your emotions.
Yeah.
And rather than looking at information online,
Yeah.
if you have a person who can look at you from being a teenager, so we say that any girl, any child who has now become a teenager, their first visit should be with us, so that they have someone whom they can share
Right.
what is going on in their life, what are the vaccinations that they need, and if there is any problem that they see,
Right.
they should know that this is the time they should go and visit someone.
Absolutely.
So what is not right? Maybe the menstrual cycle is not right, and they should be given the freedom to talk about what is the problem.
Absolutely.
Mostly, these issues are still stigmatized in our
Right.
society,
Right.
not being talked about very openly.
Right.
Whether it is related to menstrual hygiene or menstrual cyclicity, going to the temple, so many issues at every age
Right.
that they are facing.
Right.
Once they get married, so then they have to listen, okay, when are you planning a baby? Why
Yeah.
it is not happening? What is the issue? So many social things. When they attain menopause, they are going through their own hormonal problems, which the family support sometimes they don't get.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Absolutely. And on similar topic, uh, I think a lot of women do not consider preventive care as important aspect. They rather go for any kind of preventive test, right? Which is, I think you can help me
Yeah.
correct if I'm wrong. I think it is very important, even not only for growing women, but for women who are in their mid age, etc. Right? What do you think about it? What would be your advice for such kind of women who are into their middle ages? What and how they can take care of their health?
See, middle age is the best time. So that what you are doing now, you will see the results in your future.
Hmm.
So if you are physically active, if you know what kind of screening for middle age, if they are sexually active, they should go for pap smear, they should go for breast screening, they should know how to do a self breast examination, they should know that how alcohol and smoking is injurious to health, how exercise can prevent the risk of having breast cancer and so many other cancers, how it can help you prevent blood pressure, high incidence of stroke, which is so common in Indian population, your diabetes, and before planning pregnancy, what are the tests that you need, because preconception care is very important to have a healthy pregnancy. If pregnancy is healthy, we know the rest half of your life will be as smooth, because whatever you see during pregnancy, whether it is related to blood pressure or diabetes, you are likely to develop the same in future at an earlier age. Similarly, in family history also you are likely to develop the same. So yes, prevention plays a very important role. We need to immunize our girls and women against cervical cancer, uh, where if we are able to meet the WHO goal of eliminating cervical cancer by 2030, then we can be together. So yes, there are many aspects of prevention, and we should look at women as a holistic person rather than only doing this or that. And prevention also includes doing health checkup at a hospital level, so that all your aspects are looked into. We also see higher incidence of heart disease in women as they grow older. But the cornerstone is now, because the lipid profile starts to derange from childhood, from what you are eating, what is your lifestyle, how much you are exposed to smoking. So smoking has become a norm. Most of these girls are smoking nowadays. And even if you don't smoke, but you inhale passive smoke from your peers. So
Or
we
you're
need
living in
to,
NCR.
yeah. So yes, that is part of everyone is getting that kind of
That
smoke.
kind of smoke. Right, ma'am. One recent kind of debate I keep seeing in India, and I've recently saw in social channels as well, about right age of pregnancy. Right, people are claiming that women should get pregnant within 20s, in their 20s, otherwise it's too late. And some of ladies, very successful businesswomen, claiming that it's okay to get pregnant when you are ready rather than when society says you so.
Mhm.
What are your thought about that?
Mhm. See, so now the trend is that everyone is getting married at a later age
Right.
because they also want to settle down in their careers. So, yes, we have to respect their individuality, and to plan a pregnancy should be a woman's choice, or when she is ready for it and when both the parents are ready to go for it. We should not be pushing them towards being a mom. But yes, because of this, the fertility rate has been declining. In India also, it has been declining, although we are the most populous nation. But the aging of the ovaries has also is also increasing. So at a younger age, what we used to see women in their 40s, now we see similar situation in their 30s. So yes, ovaries are aging faster because of our lifestyle, the environmental pollution, everything of this. So it's a good idea to plan at the right time, but I think the choice should be of the parents.
And see, many times that also happen, and some of my friends also gone through that kind of situation when there was pregnancy was high risk. So what your advice, like, instead of panicking, what parents and of course women should do, instead of kind of panicking about that, okay, it's high risk
Hmm.
pregnancy.
See, for any pregnant woman, every pregnancy is high risk because you need to be careful at all stages of
Right.
pregnancy. But yes, high risk term is used when there is an associated medical problem. It can be related to sugar, it can be due to blood pressure, or maybe heart disease, liver disease, kidney problem, or history of kidney transplant, maybe twin pregnancy or
Yeah.
multifetal pregnancy. These all contribute to being a high risk. But if we have the right kind of care, antenatal care, regular checkups, even preconception care before they are planning, and if we are able to take situation under control, even high risk pregnancy can go as smooth with no complication. So there is nothing to panic if you have the right healthcare partner with you, who is with you during your 9 months of pregnancy. Everything can be managed, and I think panic is not the right solution, because it is a long journey. So we should look at what best outcome we can give for both mother and baby.
So mostly it's like a mental kind of focus should be on the best outcome rather than thinking about that what
Yes.
can go wrong.
Hmm.
Because then, as you rightly said, that every pregnancy is there is a risk involved, right?
Yes. So so there is no need to panic.
Right.
If you consider it as high risk, or you have been labeled as high risk, first thing is that you should be taking your care in a tertiary care hospital,
Hmm.
which will have facilities for everything.
Right.
Whether it is blood bank, whether it is ICU care,
Hmm.
whether it is a physician whom you need, a nephrologist, a cardiologist, you have everything under one roof.
And that is a great point you mentioned, ma'am, because lot of expecting parents have this question in their head, like which hospital they should choose for, kind of delivery, right? And suddenly they keep asking about their friends or someone that. But I think the points you mentioned should be the criteria when choosing a pregnancy or
Yes,
delivery
so we don't
hospital.
know
Yeah,
when any normal pregnancy can be a high risk
right.
pregnancy. It's a very difficult to decide.
And ma'am, there are a lot of taboos associated when it comes to women health, and that's why I think a lot of things can and are, kind of kept under wrap. It about periods, even PCOS kind of problems, right? Uh, how do you advise women and also society should kind of come over these taboos?
So to have PCOS, there is nothing to worry because every woman who is having a polycystic ovary is not going to suffer. Every woman will not have menstrual problems or maybe acne or skin changes or hair fall issues or maybe issues related to fertility. Everyone with PCOS will not suffer this kind of problem. So even if there has been a diagnosis of polycystic ovaries, there is nothing to worry, and if with the right kind of support and treatment we can manage everything. It is not there is nothing to worry, but yes, there has been lot of fear and stigma and a lot of knowledge which they acquire from Google or from internet, maybe from peers. Yes, there are problems that they face, we understand that, but there is nothing which cannot be managed. It is possible. So with the right kind of lifestyle, everything is possible. And sometimes even medication supplements, they need to understand, yes, the process is slow, but it is not, there is nothing which is impossible in this kind of situation, and it will stay with you. So if you follow the right kind of meal, if you are able to manage your stress, if you sleep well, if you know that this kind of lifestyle is going to help me and heal your body, the healing will happen. But yes, it takes a little more time than routine, but it is not a thing for which you need to be sad about it or crib about it that I am having this problem. It is manageable. Yeah.
And what are your advice for the women who are young and then are in career, active career, right? So their focus is usually is building the career, right? As equally as men, they are also, of course, empowered to take care of their career and grow in their career. How they ensure that they remain healthy for long, right? What your maybe top three advice would be for them?
So one is that they need to know their body. They
Yeah.
need to understand when is this problem and they need to see a doctor. Secondly, if their emotions are handled smoothly in family,
Mhm.
in workplace, at school, so lot of times it happens that the society ignores what they are going through because the reports are normal and there is no valid evidence. Say they go through their own hormonal issues in pregnancy, postpartum, during menopause, during teenage years. So that understanding is less in the society. And thirdly, they should be given an opportunity to speak about their problems so that it no longer remains a stigma, and men should be equally involved, whether it is their brother or maybe husband or a partner, uh, father, anyone. So they should be able to speak about openly about their problem so that they get an opportunity to get the answers for what is right. And for us as caregivers, we should be empathetic, compassionate to them so that they can open up.
Now from 30s, women in 30s, maybe move into young women. What would be the kind of early warning sign which young women should never ignore?
So now we have seen that the cancer which we used to see only in women above 50, now we see between 30 to 50 years as well. So yes, they should know that what menstrual problems they face.
Mhm.
They have bleeding after intercourse, they have bleeding in between periods, they have bleeding when the periods are not due what is the right time they should see a doctor. Secondly, whether they have got themselves screened for cervical cancer, that is pap smear, they have taken their immunizations at the right time or not. If they are taking alcohol or if they smoke, then they should know, yes, it is injurious to them, and no one should be pointing out fingers. They should understand that it is their health and take responsibility and not put it on others. And so these are the main problems that we see, and so we are able to manage symptoms early. So nowadays early detection is the key. uh, in terms of, we cannot prevent what is going to happen, and sometimes we see the most healthy people also developing some kind of illness, but whatever the research till now says, that doing regular exercise, going for regular health screenings, preventive care, we are able to detect, and we are also able to delay what is going to happen and
Right.
detect at an earlier stage.
Yeah.
So everything comes out to early detection. If we are able to diagnose deranged lipid profile or abnormal lipid parameters or high BP at a younger age, we know the consequence of this is going to be lighter as you grow older.
Absolutely. So I have seen that education or schools has become important part of anyone's growing years. What is the teaching or kind of methodology which you think probably is missing as of now in education, which can probably create more safer kind of society and from the healthcare point of view for women?
From school point of view, school education is already including menstrual hygiene as part of their curriculum. They also give education about sexual health, that what is good touch, what is bad touch. If you are getting into uh, having a partner at a younger age, what are the protective measures that you should be using. So school is playing a very important role already, but yes, it still needs to go to smaller schools, to small cities. In metros, it is already happening. But two things: one is menstrual problems. When is the right time they should see a doctor, or they should tell their parents, and second is the sexual education.
Hmm. And maybe towards the closing side, would like to hear your vision for future of women's healthcare in India.
So yes, we need more national health programs
Mhm.
catering to women's health. We need more centers and a dedicated building as part of the entire hospital, which is dedicated to women's health. Maybe every floor will have something where women are catered. They should be heard, which society has to still grow to that level, that they are heard. More of women education, empowerment, and we should see them as a holistic being, not just one thing, or not just partners who are helping in their household, and they are just not domestic helpers. They are much more than that. So that's it.
Great. And maybe some closing remarks for women who are looking at this MVT podcast. If you can have few of the closing remarks for them.
So I think for women of all ages, from adolescence to menopause, you should know that how your health plays a very important role in your life. Whether you are studying, whether you are in school, whether you are aiming for a good career, you are at your workplace, when you get married, in your family, and as you grow older, everything depends on how healthy you are. Not only your physical health, but your emotional, occupational, environmental, so many factors, and you are the backbone of your family. So if you stay healthy, all your surroundings will be taken care of.
Wonderful. I think those feedbacks will resonate with all the people, not only women, but I think men's as well who have women in their families. So thank you so much, Dr. Nupur. It was really honor to host you at Medical Value Talks, and we look forward to host you in another episode wherever we get the opportunity. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.